Hi guys, because I was really worried that you might miss me, so I thought I'd send this along for the meeting tonight. Unfortunately, I can't be here. I am I've been asked by the Canadian Medical Association to sit in on a conference tonight looking at ways that they can help the Medical Association move forward in this time, right? Everyone wants to say, well, hire more doctors, hire more nurses. Well, they don't exist worldwide. They're not going to exist worldwide. We have so many retiring, so we have to find better ways, new ways to do health. And so these are things that we're looking at tonight. It sounds interesting. I had my sort of orientation yesterday, and some of the people in our group seem quite interesting, so it should be good. It's a 1 hour lecture with doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners that volunteer for this. Along with tonight is certain disability advocates, cancer advocates, other disease advocates, and people with lived experience. So I'm doing sort of the combination of the two. But in between that, just sort of you got the report so that you're looking at that someone will be, that came out with the agenda. Just a few new things that have happened. Disability Awareness Week was a start. Wasn't great, simply because there's just not enough going on. We had a great turnout for Picnic in the Park in Moncton, where the Tri-Communities one that Dieppe wasn't at. But again, that has to absolutely change, and we will be holding a follow-up meeting because this is what happens when things like Disability Awareness Week are run by able-bodied people. So Muriel and I got on the committee and made the changes that we could, but it obviously was not enough. So going forward, we will see changes on that. And what we're hoping to do is to create copy events that can happen throughout the province. When I get to talking about Parks New Brunswick, I'll mention something that they're doing they're really going to help with that event. So other activities that are going on, we've been in the media a lot. We somehow all of a sudden magically got into CTV, and they like to feature us a lot. So they were there at Disability Awareness Week, and somehow we were then credited with organizing Picnic in the Park, not just being there as help. So hey, what up? And they did the feature on the mammogram story, and they've done a couple other things. So it's been really good. It's been a good in and some extra publicity there. What else has happened? I've spoken with Eric, who is the Deputy Minister for Social Assistance, in terms of the $225, gosh, don't spend it all at once, credit that we're going to be getting at the end of June, or some of us getting. They're expecting the end of June, and I flat out said, well, what about people who are on CPPD who are earning the $835, $840, so just above, so they're not getting any top up from SD, but they don't have housing yet, so they're on the wait list for housing, but they're not getting a subsidy. And let's say because of work, they don't need a white card, they still have health insurance from before. Are they going to get it? And they were like, we'll get back to you. So that means no. So they completely overlooked that group. But if you are getting a current housing subsidy, or you're on social development and you fit under a certain income bracket, you'll get that money direct deposit. There's going to be nothing you have to do. I think there's going to have to be some people that are going to have to fill out a form down the line because they didn't get it, and they should get it, and yada, yada, yada. So we'll see. Now, it could just be that people that are getting CPPD, because, most people just get so much money on that as well, that you're just automatically going to be listed as a low income earner, and maybe you'll fit into a category somewhere. So we're going to stay on top of that. Other good news, New Brunswick Medical Society is working with Muriel and I. It's where it's starting. We're going to be doing a presentation to them next week. About 15, 20 minutes, just sort of about the coalition, things that we want to, work on, go forward. And then these are doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners that volunteer their time, who are also looking to make medical services more accessible. And we're going to present to them. Then they're going to have some time for questions and answers. And basically what Dr. McMillan, the head of the Medical Society in New Brunswick, is hoping is that they are going to ask some of our members to sit on this committee with them to help start making some changes. So once we know more with where that goes, we'll let you know. but they were so receptive to the mammogram chairs. We were 15 minutes in the meeting. They cut us off, said, "You do not have to convince us. This is absolutely needed." And then we did talk about a few more things. They said, "So what else?" And we started talking about things. They're like, "Yep, yep, yep." So they want to get us on to this committee and working with these doctors because we have that lived experience again and we know what's going on. Parks, New Brunswick. So the gentleman, Brendan McGuire, reached out to me about 10 days ago. And he said, essentially, here's a little bit about me. I grew up in Fredericton, lived in Ottawa for the last 20 years, moved back home, and went, whoa, our parks suck for people with disabilities. Now, he does not have a disability himself, but he was responsible for doing all the accessibility initiatives and upgrades in Ottawa. They had a goal of 2020. They fell a little bit short, but the 90% of their upgrades to hit full accessibility in Ottawa have occurred. So he has some experience there and he knows sort of how to play the government, get what they need, all that stuff. So they recently just did an audit of parks, New Brunswick provincial parks, and a bunch of places that had some accessibility designations lost them because, they might have accessible washrooms, but you cannot get up the trail because it's big crushed gravel and it's like you can't get up there with a wheelchair. There were other places they checked and they just took away accessibility designation as well. So they are working on that. They're going to get us involved in some places too, helping out. Especially they're going to have times where they're going to say, we need some people to go try out this feature to let us know how it works at a such and such a place. And we'll put out a post on the page and say, hey, everybody who's can you go try this out? Whether it's because you are deaf, you have a vision impairment, you're in a wheelchair, you just struggle with whatever it is, and you go try it out and give them feedback, and that's how they're going to make adjustments and work on it. So they are truly interested in doing stuff there. And on that page, this is what I was saying in terms of picnic in the park and other things, they have produced a document which they could not believe did not already exist in the province of New Brunswick. Imagine, on how to host a proper, accessible event. And it's done in English right now. It's just being translated. Basically, so you want to host an event, you want to make sure it's accessible. Okay, from the perspective of mobility, these are the things you have to think of, and it's a checklist. From hearing, vision, and they cover off a whack of them, and it's sort of like very similar to what he's used in other provinces. So this will help ensure that going forward, events that are supposed to be accessible are actually, imagine that, accessible for people. So what a great idea. So our name is getting out there more and more. We're getting more play, and we're starting to create these changes. So it's been a really busy month, but it's been a good busy month. And we also have a couple students who want to work with us for the summer, and I've mentioned that in the notes. And they're going to be a great addition. They're really gung-ho, really willing to help. So again, it's all positive stuff moving forward. And I think, in the meantime, some of the things that we've talked a little bit with the executive is we just have to really watch two things. One, that we don't try to be something for everyone. We can't. We're small. We're a smaller board. We're a smaller group. We have to stay within our limitations. It would be nice to be able to help everyone out. We can't. And the second thing is we really have to stay focused on the fact that we are an advocacy group and that we're not a service provider. And talked about that quite a bit with Charles from Neil Squire, because he's currently the interim head of Avenue MB, which is going to be the new group working with job placement and job search and all that stuff. And he agrees. We talked about that when we talked about service groups doing advocacy, and that shouldn't be happening. Advocacy should be here, service here, and service groups go to advocacy with ideas that they want promoted and money, and that advocacy should not have that link to the government, or service should not have that link to the government to push forward ideas for money. Like there has to be that distinct barrier between the two, like there are many provinces. So we'll see. I think maybe we'll see some changes in the next year or two to how some things happen, but we will just keep pushing on the way we're doing it because we are helping people, and that's what counts. And Sorry I couldn't be there tonight, but I didn't want to push the meeting back again because we delayed it last week because of Disability Awareness Week. So I know you guys are all in good hands, but I didn't want you to miss me too much. So here I am, and hopefully we'll see a bunch of you on Thursday at the call out. Bye.